All right. Good to have everybody back out there this past week here. So we've been lucky where we've had most of our team here. We've got a little bit of the cold bug going around, so there's some guys missing today. But for the most part, we've had everybody here, and the injuries, we haven't had any injuries, which is, knock on wood, is also good. So, and the guys have been working hard, and I appreciate their effort and wanting to get better and get familiar with some of the new stuff that we're putting out there. Anyways, with that, time's yours. Yep.
Go first to Herbie Tiopi. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon.
All right, Herbie.
I'm Patrick. Hey, hope you're doing well. With Patrick Mahomes, what's your plan for OTAs? I know he's still recovering from the toe surgery, but how much work has he been able to get in over this past week, and what are your plans going forward with him?
Yeah, he's been doing everything. So he's been full go, and he's still working with Rick and with the toe and that. So we utilize this as more of a passing camp. We don't run the ball much in this thing, so it's good that way, and his toe's really done well.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Coach, Travis was on ESPN's NFL Live earlier this week, and he noted just how much bigger already the offensive line feels. How much of an intention was it for you guys to get even a little taller there, a little bit bigger along the offensive line, and then just your initial impressions here? I know it's just the first 3 days.
Yeah, so it's been good for that, but the main thing you want are good football players, and we've got a whole group of them now, and it's great competition. I mean, those guys last year bowed their tail off, and I'm glad we have a few of those guys back. So, and then Brett has created a nice influx of players, young and veteran guys. So we've got a nice nucleus. There's going to be great competition there, and that's going to make us better. And like I mentioned before, we really hadn't, most of the emphasis had gone to other positions, and we were able to kind of put this is a priority to get things done there. And I thought Brett and his group did a phenomenal job of working it. Yeah.
Next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned before how much you enjoyed just being a teacher out there as a coach, and a camp like this with so many young guys in this camp is a great opportunity to be a teacher. How much fun is just being a teacher in this time of year for these young guys?
Well, that's what you do as a coach. I mean, you're here to teach, and there are not a lot of secrets in the NFL anymore. So the better that you can teach, I think, the better you can help enhance the ability of your players. So that's what we all try to do, and I think we all love it. I mean, we love having the guys back on grass. I mean, that's a good thing. It's just hard to teach the fundamentals of the game virtually. I mean, it's great that we have the tool. I'm not saying that, but it's a tough thing to teach the fundamentals that way.
Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy, I just wanted to get your initial thoughts, your first week thoughts on guys like Creed Humphrey, Nick Bolton, Noah Gray, some of your younger guys, again, understanding that you aren't in pads yet.
Yeah, you know what, Adam, I've been impressed with them. They're smart, they're picking things up, and they're physical players. Not that we're in shorts now, so I say that, but they look explosive, and so that'll become important once the season goes. But they're pounding through all this new stuff, and we're loading it up and throwing it at them, and they seem to handle it pretty good.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, a couple of them kind of related. Just first of all, just what are the challenges you see for Orlando Brown going from a much more run heavy scheme to yours that maybe favors the pass? And then you were talking about the depth of the offensive line, but it does seem like I think three of the guys that would be prime candidates on that right side are going to have to knock some rust off, right? Not having played. So I'm wondering if you're seeing that. Do you see the rust that's there? So just the Brown scheme and then the rust on the right side.
Yeah. So, well, Brad, this is what you'll find out with him as you guys get to know him a little bit more. He very coachable. Andy Heck's a phenomenal coach, and has been there. and has played the position. So it's great for Orlando fundamentally to work with Andy. And listen, he's had good coaches before, but in this situation for what we do, there's nobody better than Andy. So to learn from. And so I think just the initial footwork that you have to take, and he played half the season and left, so it's not a big thing. But the things we do in our offense, just a couple of the footwork things, he'll get down and they'll be second nature to him. So he's a nice addition. And then listen, there's going to be a battle on the right side, and and there are a bunch of guys that can play, and we'll just we've always done this. We take the 5 best and throw them in there. And so we'll see how it all sorts out. Long right now, you talk probably the most rust that you'd think, and he stepped in and done a nice job. So, I mean, he's playing the right guard spot right now, but we know he also can play tackle, and he's jumped in there next to Remmers, and they've moved right along and done a nice job.
3 more, starting at the top with Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy.
Thanks,
Second straight year that you drafted a linebacker early, and Anthony Hitchens has sort of been your veteran there. So I'm wondering, what's your comfort level with him sort of being the guy that brings those young guys along, and how has he embraced that role?
Yeah, he's kind of the grandfather of the bunch, and does a great job of communicating. And he knows, he's always in House's pocket there with him, and he's a very willing studier. He goes above and beyond to know what's going on, and he's very capable of communicating that. So and he's been great for the young guys. I think he does a heck of a job with that. He was great with Willie last year. He'll be good with the young guy this year. So should be. He doesn't. He knows that he's a good football player. He's very confident that way as a veteran.
Next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about the offensive line, but specifically on that left side with 2 newcomers, with Orlando and Joe. What is it now that you've gotten them on the field and gotten a chance to work with them one-on-one that you've learned about them and you've seen in them that maybe you didn't know when you acquired them?
Well, I mean, listen, they're doing the kind of same things they were doing that we saw on tape, but I like the people, and I like their work ethic. So you never know about that until you get them. Now, the defense is running twists and they're blitzing, and so they're all working. That whole front's working through the communication process with one another as they look at different looks. And I think that liking each other, being able to communicate, being smart, all those things matter. And so I like watching that as they go through that process.
We'll go last to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, good to see you.
All right, Nate, likewise.
I wanted to ask you about the defensive line. I know it's the first week of OTAs. Just what's your initial impression, given that you got veterans like Chris, but obviously a rookie Josh, you're kind of working in obviously during in the middle of it.
Yeah, you froze up there a little bit, but I think I got you. Reid, I like. I mentioned before, he doesn't spell his name quite right, but he sure plays right. And so yeah, we're always talking about the offensive line, but that signing right there was a really good get, and I think will pay off for us in a real big way this season. It gives us some flexibility what we can do with Chris, and so it's I like that addition. I mean, you're talking about a Pro Bowl caliber player, and just plugging him in, and not much has been said about it. And I'm excited to see him once we kick this thing off.